Welcome back to the Grow Like a Mother podcast. I'm your host, Jill Wright, and today we have a really exciting episode. I'm welcoming back a returning guest who I absolutely adore. It's Victoria L. She is now a #1 international best-selling author. She's a
Yay.
midlife women's strategist and all-around powerhouse when it comes to helping women find themselves again in the messy middle of life. Victoria and I first met in Ottawa when my book
Mhm.
launched in 2023, and it's such a full circle moment now to be able to celebrate her new book, Chaos, Clarity, and Confidence Finding You Again. She has also been a two-time speaker at the Moms Matter Summit, and every time she shows up, she just brings the real talk and soul deep wisdom that we really all need and crave right now. So, Victoria's Chaos to Confidence method, to give you a sense, blends mindset work, nervous system support, and a little magic to help you feel clear, confident, and more like yourself again. In this episode, we're going to be diving into what it actually looks like to come home to yourself, especially in midlife, when your identity is shifting and your hormones are doing their thing and you're being called to reinvent how you show up in the world. And
Mhm.
she's also going to be sharing a free 3-day midlife reset to help you connect with who you are at your core. That link will be in the show notes. But let's just get into it. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I am really excited to be here. Again, I love getting to chat with you, Jill.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's so
Hmm.
fun that we are getting to celebrate your book. And I'd love to maybe let's start with this is not your first book. So maybe tell us a little bit about the back history of you and your business and what you're about, and then bring us into the current project and what inspired you to get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the health and wellness field for over 25 years now. Was a massage therapist for most of that time. I also did holistic nutrition, personal training, yoga, meditation. I mean, that many years, you have to do all the CEUs, right? So the amount of certifications I have is insane. But a couple years ago, I really wanted to start focusing on women's health. I was feeling like we aren't being heard. Things are just not being talked about. At that time, it was really focused around our period health, what's happening in our cycles, and how do we kind of come back to understanding our cycles instead of being so bombarded by them every single month and just feeling completely run down. So at that time, I took all my knowledge, put it together, and I made the 28-day strategy, which is a amazing strategy that follows your cycle through its different phases, the 4 phases. We talk about nutrition, we talk about seed cycling, we talk about how we can move to honor our bodies in the ways that it needs with the hormones. And we also talk about the spiritual and mental, physical, or the spiritual and mental aspect that goes along with our periods too, right? The hormones can make you feel down, and we all know that, or they can make you feel angry. So how do we dig into that? And that's where it really started for me. That was a couple years ago. So I made 2 cookbooks and a whole program that has helped so many women just to understand their cycle. And then fast forward, life threw me so many wrenches, threw me so many things. It was chaos for so many years. And then the biggest thing was perimenopause. I didn't really know what was going on with my body. Of course, I'd heard about it, but there's so much stigmatism around what is midlife, what is perimenopause, right? Like we're supposed to have it all figured out, right? By the time we're in our 40s. That's what I thought anyways. I was sold that narrative, and I felt so alone for quite a long time that I didn't have it figured out. My body was doing weird things. Marriage is falling, like feeling like my marriage is falling apart, my family's falling apart, my kids are empty, like emptying the nest, and all these things are happening. It's chaos 24/7 around me. And I'm thinking, I was sold the narrative that when my kids got older, this would get easier. And it's the exact opposite. Like what is happening? And so that's when I started looking into more what perimenopause was, the chaos of the midlife era, I guess you can call it. And that's when Chaos, Clarity, and Confidence was born. I started with myself first. how do I move out of the chaos? What tools? I took all the tools I could possibly, like every single tool I had in my tool bag, and I brought it into the chaos to confidence method. And I used it first. I implemented it myself. I wanted to make sure I'm like one of those people where if it does, I need to know that it works before I will share it with anybody. Like from every, and it doesn't matter what it is, right? If I don't know it works, I'm not putting it out there. So yeah, and then I just felt like I have to share this story. I have to share because so many women are coming to me and saying, I thought I was alone. Like I thought this weird phase of chaos was just the way it is. And so I'm hearing you say things and that sounds so much like me. And then that's when the book was born. I was just like, I have to write it. I have to get it out and share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much in there that speaks to me personally. I think that you are the first person that I ever heard talk about perimenopause. And like I
Hmm.
hadn't even heard about it.
Yeah.
Which started a whole journey for me as well. And the fact that you're just showing up authentically, vulnerably, and just real talk, sharing about your experience, your life, and in doing so, helping other women navigate it as well with all of the background and expertise that you have from your career. Like it's such a wonderful melding of everything.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite piece? Like the mindset or the physical or the spiritual? Like, is there somewhere that you lean, or is it all just kind of intertwined for you?
So I love food. So I will be honest, I lean into the nutrition big time for myself. The nutrition and then meditation, those two together have been the biggest game changers for me. I like I share in the book that I went from being this healthy, strong, super fit person over the course of 4 weeks, I gained 40 pounds. My body felt like it was shutting down. I was in complete adrenal fatigue. And the biggest thing that helped me get through that was coming back to nourishing my body and my mind. And so the meditation, the food, that's food and I are like besties. I just can't I love food so much.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. And food can do so much good for us if we know the right way to use it to our
Yeah.
advantage, right?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Um, and I often tell my clients like when you're putting something into your body, if you're it doesn't matter what it is. Let's just take away the stigmatism of like you have to eat perfect 24/7. But if you're sitting there holding something and you're about to put it in your body and you're looking at it and you're thinking, God, I'm so fat. I feel like crap and I'm gonna eat this crap and it's gonna make me feel like crap again. There's a mental aspect to when we eat there and then too, right? So then we're just putting crap in our body mentally, spiritually, emotionally, maybe even like a McDonald's hamburger, like whatever it is. But if we change our narrative and we learn to appreciate that sometimes, we need to eat. We just need to eat, and we're hungry. And I have so much gratitude for the fact that I was able to get this food so that I could not feel so hungry, right? Like so, there's a huge part of it there that I think especially I find us midlife ladies, like mid 40s, there's so much of a narrative taught to us that, that whole the 80s starving model thing, and it brings in, there's so much, like I could go on for hours on just that alone, but there's so much important things to talk about when it comes to how we nourish ourselves and how we care for ourselves, especially right now when it's chaotic.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
especially when our identity feels like it's shifting with our body. Like that's something that I've been struggling through, I guess you could say, over the last
Hmm.
little while, because it's like I don't have the same body I had for 25 or 30 years of
Yeah.
my life, which was one way. And now it's looking and feeling a little different. And I'm like, wait, am
Yeah.
I different? Am I the same? Like, talk us through this identity shift that can sometimes happen, maybe with or without the physical changes, but like that's a biggie.
It is. It is a huge biggie. And, I talk about in the book whether it's the kids leaving or your own thing, we have career shifts. A lot of times in this midlife, there's so many things that are changing, are shifting, and our bodies are shifting, our hormones are shifting. We get to the point where a lot of us are just tired. So it's like I don't want to do things that don't bring happiness to my soul anymore. So there's a huge shift that happens, and I think that we kind of get lost in it instead of looking at it for what it is, that this is another phase. We're moving into something new, right? We get lost in, I don't know what to do because I've never done this before. I've never been in this place before. This is totally new to me. It's out of my comfort zone. And, like that, who the hell is that that's sitting in the mirror looking at me? I don't know who that is. She's totally not me anymore. So being able to step back and to evaluate it, like what is it that's changing? Is it your body? Is it your attitude towards things? Are you tired? Are you worn out? Are you changing because you are worn out, right? And I know you talk about this a lot too, is that time management where you're stretched so thin at this phase, right? Because we just have so much on our plates that it can feel like I don't even know who I am. I'm just everything for everybody else. Who am I?
Hmm.
Um, s- One of the things we do is the clarity compass, and I absolutely love this exercise. I actually talked about this in the Moms Matter Summit too. So in the program, we talk about what's something that lights you up. What do you love to do, right? And I had this client come forward. She's like, I love ice cream. I'm like, great. Why do you love ice cream? She's like, well, it's cold and I love it and it's beautiful and it tastes good. And I'm like, okay, but why? I don't know, because like, I don't know, I just sit down and I enjoy and it's like a time for me. And I'm like, okay, and why? And we just kept digging and digging and digging. And then it turned out that she loved ice cream because that was a thing when they were younger. Her parents would take her and her sibling to a little ice cream shop, and they would have this amazing family time, and they would sit around, they'd laugh, they'd have this amazing good time having ice cream. So we got back to that point where she found clarity that it's not the ice cream. Like, sure, ice cream is fantastic. Like, who doesn't love ice cream? But it's that she missed her identity as, someone that laughs, someone that's joyful, someone that plays, someone that has a release in her life in some way, right? And so that was able to bring her back to a bit of her own identity, being able to say, okay, so I've lost connection with that fun piece of me. How do I get her back? How do I come back to her? And I think when we're in that phase of spiraling, we don't know who we are, we don't know what's happening, finding a little bit of clarity on something that's that joyfulness that happens, that is key to starting to shift into that clear mind frame of I am now becoming this person, but I will always love, a good ice cream and a laugh together, right? So I think that
Yeah.
was more of a ramble than I meant to go on, but
No, that's perfect. And it was reminding me of like being a new mom when you're in that phase of like,
Mm,
who am I? How do I, what is, everything is different now. What do I do?
yes.
And the hormones, like we experience this multiple times in our lives, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And we're expecting it with parenthood. We don't always expect it at midlife. Like
Yeah.
we know like, oh yeah, okay, we'll stop getting a period and that'll be called menopause and fine.
Yep.
But we don't anticipate the experience of this identity shift, of this sort of like reckoning with what was, who we are. And certainly no one ever held our hand to help us dive into the clarity of like, well, what do I like and why? And why is this different for me now? And so I think it's so important to have guides like you available to help us navigate all of the mucky, like,
Hmm.
we don't even know what questions to ask ourselves, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. That was the one thing that I found when it first hit was like I just didn't know. I didn't know, what to do, how to move forward with it. Um, I tried, everything under the sun, and I found that getting myself clear, journaling was a big part of it, right? Sitting down and journaling everything that I was feeling, being honest with on the piece of paper. I mean, you can burn it afterwards, right? It's not like you have to mail it to your best friend and be like, can you analyze this with me? You can if you want, but you don't have to. Um, but just taking these steps to start to dig and yeah, asking questions is a big part. Asking even of yourself or connecting with others that you feel safe to ask questions, that is a huge, huge part of this. And I don't think, we anticipate it, like you said, when the babies are born or when we step into that new phase, whether it's maybe you don't have kids, but you have the career, you first step into it, right? Whatever it is, that first beginning, you anticipate all these big changes and these big things, and you think it's going to be there forever, right? Especially as a parent, you think, oh my God, this is the rest of my life. It's just going to be like this. And then when you hit that phase where the kids are coming more independent and they don't need you as much and you have like more free time kind of thing, right? And you're like, oh God, I'm by myself. Who am I? What am I doing? Like, why? I don't know what to do anymore because I don't have this chaos to pull me in and to make my life full, right?
Yeah, we get used to it,
Yeah.
and it's sort of almost this like comforting devil we know when we're in
Yes.
the midst of it. And so
Yeah.
I think it's so special that you've developed this tool in your book to be able to guide us through it. And I mean, we've talked about meditation, we've talked about journaling, we've talked about the importance of nutrition. Like, can you share another tool or two that you dive into in the book, or that you can share with us to be able to, I don't know, have someone who's listening walk away and sort of be able to choose from a little menu of something that they could just change today or start to think about looking into to help them feel better?
Yeah. One of the biggest things, honestly, go for a walk. That's the best tool, honestly. We get to move our bodies. So we all know how beneficial moving our bodies is, especially in this phase. The hormones cause a lot of inflammation. They can cause soreness. They can cause grumpiness, all those kind of things. Get the hormones moving, get the body moving. Walking also, they've shown that once you kind of hit that 1 hour mark, there's a change that happens in our brain chemistry. So if you can, book a walk for like an hour and 10 minutes. I know that's a really long time, but hey, if you can do it, it's amazing because after that 1 hour, our brain chemistry starts to change. There's a relaxation that starts to happen within our bodies. It's a huge shift that starts to happen within your physical body, but then it also starts to affect your mental body. And, spiritually, it's such a beautiful thing to get out and connect with nature, release some of the tension, talk to the birds if you want. I've been accused of doing that many times. It's such a useful tool, and you don't need to buy anything. You don't need to invest in anything. You got a pair of shoes, go outside and go for a walk. It's honestly one of the best tools right now in midlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually rediscovered that last week. I was going through the week and I looked at my boyfriend and I was like, you know what? I just realized I had not had any time by myself this week. And so that
Mm.
walk we were going to take together, I think I'm going to take that walk by myself. And I went and I got lost. And so I ended up a little bit longer than I expected to be. And it was just over an hour. And
Yeah.
as I was walking, I could like literally feel all of the tension melting, stuff I didn't even know was there. Like creativity was opening up. And I sort of said to myself, like, yeah, this is going to have to be a weekly occurrence because the
Yeah.
benefit that I feel just from taking this hour to myself to be walking in the woods, like
Yeah.
tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's honestly it's the best tool right now. And it like I said, doesn't cost us anything. We can find time to do it and maybe not a full hour, but start where you are and just start really, maybe it's a 5 minute walk, maybe it's a 10 minute walk, whatever it is, but it's a hugely helpful tool in this phase. And maybe you come back and you journal because, like you said, that clarity starts to open up, the creativity comes back. Maybe there's like a project that you're stuck on and you're out for your walk, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I have the answer. I have like voice memos about the most weirdest random things on my phone because that happens to me. I'll be out and I'll be like, oh yeah, I have to. Okay, hold on. And I'm like talking to my phone, trying to make sure because it does, it opens things up and it just feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I totally agree. And I do that voice note thing too. Sometimes I'm like, no, leave your phone at home. And then other times I'm like, no, I need it because I need to record all the things that have come out of my brain during
Yes.
that time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, the wisdom that you have around all of this is just truly like all encompassing. And I really want to encourage people to go out and get your book because there is not only your story, but there are tools, there are resources, and it is like almost a lifeline so that you feel like you're not alone in this because you're not alone.
Hmm.
We're all going through it. So, I mean, if there's one thing that you want the listeners to hear today and to sort of know what they'll get when they pick up their copy, what would that be?
I really wanted it to feel like a conversation. I wanted it to feel like you're reading this book and it's like we're sitting down, we're having coffee, it's two girlfriends going through it together. And I wanted you to feel like at the end of each chapter, when you get into the tools, because every chapter has a little bit of tools or something to offer, I wanted you to get to that point and feel like that's when your girlfriend's going to give you the advice that's going to rock your world and get you back on track. And so I have the book, I have the tools in it. I also have the free online book club. It's got tappings, meditations. We're going to be launching into some live yoga and meditations on there as well, which I'm really excited about. And it's just, yeah, just it's a conversation. Yeah,
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 I love that.
yeah.
And I also want to invite listeners to check out the 3-day midlife reset. Can you tell us about
Yes.
that?
Yeah, so I wanted to, it's kind of like a teaser, I guess. I wanted you guys to have something that's tangible that you could start with right away. So whether or not you have the book, it's not dependent on whether you have the book. It's an entity all on its own. But we talk about, we talk about the chaos. Let's nourish our body with some good food. Let's get some movement in there. Let's do some meditation. And it's just a really simple, nothing in there is over 5 minutes. So like it's not like you're trying to cram in an hour and a half worth of stuff. It's really, really simple. And I do this with for myself every once in a while and with my clients when they first get started. It's a great way to kind of come back to yourself and to feel good, you know, find that you again for a little bit of time. Yeah.
Yeah. And we all need that so much, especially
Hmm.
in the chaos of summer. The kids are out of school, which, you know, flips the script for life in general. So if you're listening to
Yeah.
this as we're sort of recording and releasing it in the summertime, it's an especially good time to do
Yeah.
this for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, Victoria, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your wisdom with us. If people want like more than just this taste of you, where can they go to learn more, find out about more, get the book, all that?
The best place to head to is my website. So it's chaos clarity and confidence.com. Everything is there, links to everything. You can find it all right there. It's one simple place.
And I'll make sure it's in the show notes too, so people can just like scroll, click, find their way there, and start exploring
Perfect.
everything that you've got to offer because it really is this like abundance of resources. And I'm
Hmm.
so grateful for that you A, wrote the book, and B, are like sharing with us so generously today. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And for everyone who's still with us listening, keep on growing like a mother.